Shalom. Kohola Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahakodash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching in truth, sincerity, and diligence for the sake of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Lord, when this lesson is edifying and straight to the point, just some quick through the spirit, pretty much entitled this lesson, Be as Babes. You see, because in this truth, when you come into the courts of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you pretty much have to do away with all things that you done learned in the world. And you have to take on a whole different mind and a whole different vibration. And it's not something that's gathered overnight. This change doesn't just come overnight. It's something that, you got to work on. You see? And it's pretty much something that has to be learned. You have to be taught, the ways of the Lord. You see how to operate in the spirit, what and what not to do, what and what not to say, how to hold your peace. Pretty much the order, man. You see? And you pretty much got to be as babes, man. You got to take on the appearance of a child. Pretty much being willing to be taught, because when you coming out of America and you coming into the courts of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you're pretty much unlearned, man. Real quick, it's Matthew chapter 11 and verse 25. He said, matter of fact, let me get this first. This Matthew chapter 18 and verse 1. He said, at the same time, came the disciples unto Yahweh Shai, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahweh Shai called the little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, you see, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. You see? And he said, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. You see? So ultimately you have to convert your ways to being as little children. In the truth, pretty much a child is willing to be taught. When you consider a child is pretty much insignificant, and he has to be led and built up to the point where he can pretty much make wise decisions on his own. But up until that point, you have to hold his hand and, teach him right from wrong, what and what not to do, how to operate, how to, use manners. You see? But you have some brothers that are coming to this thing already full of age. You already got your mind figured, you got yourself figured out. You already got your plans, you got your mind made up on how this and this, I don't do that. That ain't me, Nah, you have to humble yourself down, man, and become as little children. You see, because if you don't, correction may come down and you can take it the wrong way, because what you don't deal with, man, and which you pick that spirit up in Babylon. So you can't operate like an American within the truth. You have to become as little children, man. Pretty much being willing to be taught, and just going back to that Matthew 11 in verse 25. He said, at that time, Yahweh Shai answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heavens and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and has revealed them unto babes. You see, and pretty much the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is that spirit of prophecy, has been revealed unto babes, man. You see, those who've been converted, into that childlike mannerism in the mind, to pretty much be retaught. You see, real quick, you go into the word babe. And it goes into Strong's G3516, an infant, little child, a minor, not of age. Say it's childish, untaught, unskilled. You see? And when you come into this council, you pretty much are untaught and unskilled, right? You don't know how to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You don't know how to walk in the ways of righteousness. Some people been wicked 35 years of their life, man. You've been wicked a whole 21 years of your life, and then you just coming into the truth, and you only been in it for 5 years, so you still shedding off Babylon the Great. You know, you pretty much still untaught and unskilled in righteousness. You know? So yeah, you have to become as a little child to pretty much be built up and be taught. You know, real quick. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse, let's see. In verse 32, he say, "My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught." You see, if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. If thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. So the Lord pretty much showing you how to operate as a little babe, man. You know, he says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee." So be willing to be taught, man. You see, be willing to cast out the things that you picked up here in America and to replace it with righteousness, man. You see, because certain shit that we picked up, it ain't gonna fly in the truth. You know, you gotta do away with certain things. You see, he say, if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee bedtime unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thy heart, which goes back to the Hebrew word law, which is your mind. The Lord is going to establish your mind and give thee wisdom at thy own desire, you see. So then you'll be able to grow yourself and bring forth fruit. But it starts if you becoming as a little babe, you know, pretty much being willing to be taught. This Ecclesiastes 6 and verse 18. He say, "My son, gather instructions from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom to thy old age." Yeah, from thy youth up. From that child state, for that child state, like, you know, from that child state of mind all the way up to a minor state of mind, to the point you're growing and growing and growing to when you become an elder in it, you know, or a prophet, a priest, you know, whatever the lot, you know, whatever lot that's given to you. But ultimately start with you becoming a babe. You see? It's 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. He said, "As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." You see? So you gotta desire this sincere milk. Pretty much going back into the Ecclesiasticus, the 6th chapter. You know, you at the doorpost of the elders, pretty much. You know, desiring the sincere milk of the word, desiring to hear the parables of understanding. You know, but it's gonna be given to the babes. So he said that the Lord didn't give it to the wise and the prudent of his lifetime, but he revealed his secrets, his intents and purposes unto babes, man. And you want to be one of those little babes. You want to convert into that childlike mindset so you can grow into this wise counsel, man. You see, because this counsel is far extends. You know, this is just the beginning of us coming into this the counsel of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. How much more for when they enhance into the kingdom of heaven and you at your peak, you know? But it starts with you becoming as a babe. You know, you shedding off America, putting your pride to the side, and actually sitting down and willing to be taught by men older, same age, or even younger than you. You know, and the Lord working mysterious ways, but you have to become as a little babe. You know, I just wanted to speak on it with the spirit power Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, Lord, when it was edifying to the elect and to those seeking salvation, Lord Yahweh Shai, I would give honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rahak Wadash, Lord, wins in this video. Shalom.